give the floor to Anatolii Komirnyi, Deputy Head of the Department of Digitalization from the Ministry of Territorial Development. Good afternoon. Today, as we used city building Cadastre, you've heard that this is about the state register of buildings and other items, because this is something which should form a foundation and which should give us a comprehensive picture. So what are the systems that we develop, and where are we moving? Well, everyone in the country deals with addresses, ranging from using geo-navigators in your cars to calling some emergency first responders. If we speak about Kyiv, it's more or less straightforward, but if we go to the countryside outside of Kyiv, you will see that the problems might arise in that field. Now our ministry wants to establish order in this area, and we're going to have a single register of addresses. The spheres of use and applications are shown in this screen. It all ranges from an individual citizen to businesses of delivery to institutions and services which heavily rely on addresses in providing their services. So people should have a full picture of these objects, where they are and what they look like. There's a broad variety of registers now, and here we present not all of them, just the largest ones, which are being used by many businesses and public institutions, post service, the Central Electoral Commission, and so on. But there are also local ones, the Ministry of Social Policy, and so on. So we can see the difference in numbers, and the absence of a single register always begets problems, and people will have serious issues in finding the right place on the basis of addresses that they use from the registers, especially as now streets are being renamed as part of the drive for decommunization. New streets appear, new names occur, so we should need a single register of addresses so that people would be able to unmistakably find what they need. All this should be done on the basis of reliable data. So the problem is there, of course. There are lots of fraud related to that, or just difficulties in getting to one place or another, be it a fire service or other first responders who need to find a place quickly, sometimes bump into this problem. But we need to make sure that first responders reach the right place quickly. And the development of a single register should finally resolve that issue. Obviously, there's no doubt that all this is very needed. A single register of addresses should also be complemented with buildings, and territorial units, so that we can understand who runs what on one area or another. We've already started doing that, and we are already cooperating with all the previously enumerated stakeholders in order to set up a single register of addresses. The work is going on. I will tell you how. Couple of words about the register of buildings and edifices. There should be clear understanding of what is there. This is kind of a digital twin which would exist on each of the buildings, so that we would be able to have the clear picture at the level of the ministry, at the level of Ukraine in general. This will give us an idea where to move further. The register of buildings should include not just physical properties, but their certificates as well, and certificates of state. And only when we know in what state or condition this building is, only then will we be able to take decisions about modernization, upgrade, building changes, and so on. Having said that, we understand that there should be decentralization in this work, because people at the local level know better what is what. So the main players in this process are bodies of local self-governance that make decisions and introduce new or changed addresses, entering them into the single register, and then all the other bodies of power at all other local levels would be able to get access to that data and to make necessary adjustments and corrections in their files, being sure that the information provided at the local level is trustworthy and accurate. As regards the functioning of the registers, as I already said, they are being formed by local bodies and relevant bodies at the central level process and administer that data to make sure that it is not abused in any way, shape or form. We understand that this system will be very much protected from fraud or abuse, because there will be no human factor. There will be no one person who is in charge of all that. There will be technical administrator who gives rights and access to the register with all the necessary precautions. So we believe that such a system is very resistant to corruption and all kinds of abuse, and we are trying to introduce and operate our registers as we think fit.
We say that it is necessary, it is good, and we are not sitting in our hands. We already have the product, which we call the nucleus of soft. We have developed and combined what could be combined without problems. Those 5 registers which I showed to you. You understand that there are addresses in all 5 registers. It's what we call automatic matching. Then we have manual matching, what we are engaged into at the moment, and where we have certain questions about such addresses. We developed methodology for local self-governments so that they understand how to add their addresses, how to work on this, because they are major players in this field. We already have 150 communities which participated in the pilot project. So our next stage would be to teach all communities so that we feel completely 100% our addresses register. but some ministries already start joining it. And the programs which we're developing at the moment, like for example, a register of destroyed or ruined property. So it's going to be the single and verified register. The stages of the project, we have already had automatic matching, manual matching, and adding geometries in the process of work, but a lot has been done. Adding documentation that such address exists in reality, as well as introduction of registers. It's the permanent process which is going to be permanent. It's like a living organism. The registers always need a renovation, updating, upgrading. What are the next steps? We want to teach all communities in the fourth quarter and the competency centers at Oblast military administrations. We will complete integration with our register of ruined and destroyed property, and will engage all stakeholders, local self-government, central executive authorities, to use our map and our register, when even businesses can join it, understanding how this is done. And I still have a lot of information, but tight time. Since October, we produced opportunity to issue test mapping, and I would like the ministries and the central executive authorities to engage actively, because this is a good thing to avoid mistakes, because everybody builds his systems on the assumption that the addresses are correct, but sometimes some register may lag behind the changes in real situations. So the only way to check, to verify that everything is okay, is to connect our nucleus and build your systems as it properly. This is about the register of buildings and structures. These are technical characteristics, energy efficiency, facades with visualization. So we get the digital twin of our buildings which we have. And when we look at this picture, we'll be able to say what do we need, where we need to upgrade energy efficiency, where we may use more effectively this or that building, when we see the difference between the cost of use of this or that building. So after that, we'll be able to say that we are entering the new level of management and can move further. And conclusion, a couple of words about the results of implementation. The single state register of addresses and register of buildings and structures will be the part of our ADSSB. It's getting bigger and more powerful, and provides complete and correct information about addresses, simplifying and streamlining of providing services. This will be the result of this implementation. You would not need to check to verify whether changes were happened or not. Consolidated information on the characteristics of the immovable property. So the information, the data is included from all stakeholders, which will put everyone into equal conditions, allowed to work properly, and provide quality services. So if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Thank you.